She was making a speech yesterday to the Economic Club of New York, and she's giving a little bit of a taste of what's going to come up next week at the Washington spring IMF meetings without giving the numbers away. Things aren't as bad as they were 6 months ago. That's her first message. But her second message is that the growth that we're going to see isn't going to be that much better than what we saw in 2012. And she's also gone and identified a new phase, as she describes it, in global growth.
We are now seeing the emergence of what I will call a three-speed global economy. Those countries that are doing well, those countries that are on the mend, and those countries that have quite a bit of distance to travel.
So of those groups, she's identified some of the speedy ones. Yep. Countries of East Asia. Now, they're obviously got some issues because the risk is that they're going to see, with accommodative monetary policy all around the world, they're going to see flows going into those countries. The risk is that as things go up and down, flows also go in and out. That's a big risk for them. She's also concerned about debt levels rising in some of those, for some corporates in some of these faster growing countries. And then I'll skip over the intermediate ones because that was the US mostly, with Switzerland and maybe Sweden. But she also pointed out that the Eurozone obviously needs to take measures as well. And for the Eurozone, she's particularly concerned that banking union isn't coming along fast enough. She wants to see Germany, for example, using its surplus to actually foster growth in investment. China, she says, they need to be using their surplus to foster growth in consumption.
Didn't go well yesterday for the French, did it?
No, it didn't go very well.
On many fronts.
It's really interesting looking at the way she talks, to think that she came from the centre right rather than the left. Sometimes when you look at what she's talking about, what needs to happen in terms of banking regulation. But then again, she is French. She didn't talk particularly about the French, but the European Commission did talk about the French, and they made the point that France's export market share is shrinking. Yeah. Now, if they want to stop that shrinking, they need to do more. And the areas that they need to do that more in, mostly it's in the labour market. They need to make it easier to hire and fire. They need wages flexibility. But then again, at the same time, think about it, Francois Hollande is getting it in the neck everywhere at the moment because he's got this scandal going on.
Yeah, and I guess some of when I was reading the French press this morning, a lot of them were saying the problem is that now he's being so sidetracked, right, because of the scandals about some ex-ministers having bank accounts.
You only got so much bandwidth.
Just outline the scandal for the viewers. The scandal we're referring to is the fact that the budget minister had to resign after repeatedly lying about having a secret Swiss bank account. And Mr. Hollande yesterday has vowed to crack down on tax havens.
Especially as the former budget minister was one of the ones actually proponing tax havens to be taxed and
Hollande was talking about tax havens being eradicated.
But I think the extraordinary thing, though, is to look at the French 10-year bond yield since he came into power. I think we've probably got it, we can call it up. But, you know, when you look at the yield, since he came into power in May last year, and here it is, you can see it there.
But that's central bank, isn't it? It's not.
It's been going down.
It's not really with government policies.
Exactly. That's the point I was going to make. That's the ECB, but it's also the fact that you've got such a big liquid French bond market. And look at that drop down there, right at the very end. You know, that's Japan. That's cash coming. That's cash going into
rumour has it.
Markets. Rumour has it. Yes.